Cooper also has a short vision and sees himself at war, surrounded by bodies. When he sees Chase with the gun in her hand, the rest of the memory comes to him. The two of them met when they joined the Marines and fought together during the war. During a mission, Cooper was hit by an explosion and was seriously damaged, so a helicopter took him away. Chase also remembers this, and they realize the house from the pictures is the ranch they moved to after the war. Another flashback reveals that after Cooper recovered from the explosion, his face was still severely damaged and he was worried nobody would hire him like that. In the present, Cooper is looking at himself in the mirror when suddenly he sees Chase's mother next to him. She removes the bullet from her forehead and hands him to Cooper, but luckily at that moment Chase makes him snap out of it. She explains that she also sees her mom and that she thinks she killed her even if she doesn't remember it, but Cooper says they were framed. At the beach, Mason gets his leg hurt after slipping on the rocks, so Blair takes care of the wound. Donovan sees this and gets jealous because Blair had taken care of his leg first and he had thought they had something. After Mason leaves, Donovan pretends he has something in his eyes to get Blair's attention and begins talking badly about Mason. Suddenly he tells Blair that he loves her, but Blair turns him down. Meanwhile, Mason has another flashback. After killing all those people at the mall, he could hear the police coming for him, so he took a gun and tried to self-delete. However, he couldn't do it and he got arrested. At that moment, Blair approaches him and asks him to never leave her alone with Donovan because he's dangerously obsessed. In the woods, Bonnie and Clyde see Casey and Moses bonding and decide to let them be because they'll probably attack each other soon. Clyde opens a screen on his arm to search for different victims, revealing he has access to all the cameras on the island as people in the control room do. This causes two technicians to notice something is wrong. Later, while Blair is away, Mason is taking off his shirt and Donovan uses the chance to choke him. Mason struggles against Donovan and they fall to the floor, but when Mason tries to grab something to defend himself, Donovan finishes killing him and hides him under some leaves at the same time by the sea. Blair suddenly remembers that she was married to a woman and rushes back to tell Donovan, only to see Mason's body on the ground. Disturbed, she falls to her knees and pretends to accept Donovan's feelings while secretly taking the flare gun from Mason. Then Blair pretends she's about to kiss Donovan to get close enough and shoot him at point-blank range, killing him instantly. Back to Casey and Moses, they arrive at the hotel and find Cooper and Chase. An argument ensues over secrets and information, so Cooper takes out a gun to shut them up, causing him to have a flashback. The farm they were renting belonged to Chase's mother, and she refused to extend the lease because they weren't making enough money. Cooper tried to plead for mercy, but the old lady began insulting him and Chase, which made Cooper angry. Chase's mother took out a gun to make him leave and Cooper tried to take it from her, so she hit him with a vase, and in the struggle the gun was accidentally shot, killing her. In the present, it's revealed that Cooper was so lost in the vision that he has fired the gun here too, killing Moses. While Casey hugs the body, Cooper tells Chase he killed her mother and made it look like a break-in. Chase gets very upset and is about to punch him, but suddenly Clyde shows up and stops her, saying he'll take it from here. Clyde starts fighting Cooper while Bonnie goes after Chase. All four of them are great fighters, so lots of hits are exchanged as they move all around the room and climb on the furniture. When Clyde is about to stab Cooper, Chase hits him first to stop him. Clyde retaliates with his machete, but Chase dodges it and the blade kills Bonnie instead. Then Chase stabs her with a spear, making her disappear from the simulation. Cooper attacks Clyde with an axe at the same time Chase turns the spear on him, but Clyde uses it to stab her before disappearing too. The spear also disappears, but Chase is still bleeding, so she leaves the building to die alone. When she finds the sea she passes out, only to wake up in the prison again. Dr. Wiss welcomes her and explains they brought her back right before dying because thanks to Cooper's confession, she's been exonerated of her crimes and she's off death row. She also says that Bonnie and Clyde were marshals who went rogue and were removed for interfering with the results of the game. While the doctors check on Chase's health, Wells tries to visit her, but Wiss stops him and implies he'll be investigated for his involvement in the marshals' misbehavior. Furious, Wells finds the nurse and convinces her to be on his side because otherwise she'll go down with him. When Chase is taken to see a psychiatrist, she learns that the names on the prisoners' shirt labels had been their surnames, and her actual first name is Gabriella. The doctor reveals that all the prisoners went into the simulation voluntarily because it would get them out of death row and they signed non-disclosure agreements. This was mandated by the government, saying the experiment should only be done on those truly irredeemable, which in Texas is a low bar. To this day, nobody has reached redemption in the game to win it. After a few more tests, Chase is taken to see Wells, who reveals all her mother's money went to a hospital so she has nothing to go back to. He also admits he did try to sabotage the program because the other prisoners are awful people who don't deserve a second chance or to get tax money wasted on them. Then he offers her a deal. If she doesn't tell the scientists about his plans, he'll take Cooper out of the simulation so she can have her revenge. Chase immediately accepts. Meanwhile, the scientists tell Bonnie and Clyde that they'll go to jail for their actions, but their sentence may be smaller if they were under someone's orders. However, the duo is too scared of Wells and doesn't mention his name. Afterward, Chase has to meet with the scientists one last time before she's released to tell them about her experience. They ask her about the gun she found because they didn't put it in the code, yet Chase doesn't mention Wells' name either. Then the scientists explain that 39 is the number of steps from the end of the cell block to the electric chair. Chase finds this very sadistic and points out there's no way all this money is being spent to rehabilitate criminals, so she suspects they have a secret profitable reason. Wells agrees and an argument ensues, but at that moment he gets a call from the governor, so the meeting must be paused. A guard takes Chase back to the lab while explaining she has to wait for her paperwork to leave. Suddenly Wells appears with the nurse, who captures Chase with the force field and is about to kill her with an injection. Luckily Wish shows up and orders the guards to stop him, but as Wells is escorted out, he tells Chase she still doesn't know everything. Later the scientists judge Wells, revealing he was the one to put the cannibal on the island too and that the nurse has betrayed him. An offended Wells starts screaming and again tells Chase that they're hiding something from her, so the guards take him away. Afterward Chase finally gets ready to leave and she's approached by Wiss, who finally confesses the last secret as she gives Chase an injection. Suddenly Chase's face changes, revealing she's actually quite old. She's been in prison for 25 years, but when the prisoners enter the simulation, their avatar appears at the age they committed the crime. The illusion is only in the prisoners' minds, everyone else has always seen her as an older woman. Chase realizes Cooper must be old too and demands to see him, but Wiss says it's not possible because he's still on the island. As Chase finally leaves the prison, she sees the city outside and discovers how much the world has changed in almost 3 decades. Meanwhile Wells appears on the island too and Casey and Cooper welcome him to One Land. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.